Hello everybody, welcome back to Amateur TV. It's Jacob here bringing you another Toronto Raptors video on the second channel. Thank you so much for the great support on the previous video. Lots of new subscribers, really appreciate that. What we want to do today is we're going to watch a small little snippet of an interview that Fred VanVleet did, where there was a very interesting comment that I just really felt the need to discuss on the channel here. So if you like what you see from this video, always be sure to drop a like. Goes a long way to supporting the channel. And if you are new, your first time here, be sure to subscribe for more content from myself. If you don't know, my main channel is Amateur Sports, where I do Raptors videos 3 times a week, a lot more professional, a lot more in-depth. This second channel is a nice place for me to just broadcast my thoughts on certain topics around the NBA, especially concerning the Toronto Raptors, which is exactly what we want to do today. So, disclaimer, I don't exactly know where this interview came from. To be honest, I didn't do a ton of research into where it came from, full transparency here, but some of the comments are very interesting from Fred VanVleet. So, first of all, we're not watching this one, but Fred VanVleet talked about how he wanted to stay in Toronto. In fact, he wants to stay here for his entire career. He loves playing in Toronto. I think that when you're playing for a team, or just in general, any player who wins an NBA championship at some point in their career, like every player, I would say like, every player who goes into NBA, other than like the top 0.5%, if you offered them one championship in their career, they would take it. It's so incredibly difficult to win a championship. So when you win a championship, like I guess earlier on in your career, so for the case of Fred VanVleet, he won a championship earlier on in his career, you really have the freedom for the rest of your career to just go wherever you want. You know, if you want to focus on money, you can do that. You don't need to be on a winning team. If you want just a place you're going to enjoy living, you love the culture, you can go and do that. Now, the other guys, you obviously still want to win, you still want to keep winning, but I feel like there's a personal amount of flexibility you can give yourself. And, playing in a spot where you're happy could be important. And I think for Fred VanVleet, he not only loves playing in Toronto, loves being in Toronto, I think he sees this as a team where he can be patient and see how far they can progress. And, I think something we'll talk about in this video is, is Fred VanVleet a part of that progression that's going to happen for the Raptors, that we are expecting for the Raptors over the next few years. So, starters wants to stay in Toronto, and as far as the contract goes, he's confident that they're going to figure it out. I think Fred VanVleet, understandably, he wants his money. He was an all-star this year. He's just improving every year. But also wants to make sure the team is in a good position. So this is the comment that I kind of wanted to visit in particular. So why don't we just listen in and see what Fred VanVleet had to say?
But again, that type of stuff will take, control of itself. I certainly have no issue, taking a step back if it's going to make our team better. There's certain nights this year where I needed to score 25, 30, often, a lot of times,
Definitely.
especially when we have guys out. And there'll be nights when I don't need to do that. So I'm looking for all of those guys to take a step up, as myself and Pascal have done every year. And so we'll see a lot of
Yep.
those younger guys take another step up, and that should increase our team value and the way we play. So I'm excited about it. Yeah, for sure. I
So
think
I thought these were some pretty good comments from Fred VanVleet. As far as the leader of the team goes, he's really taken over the reins from Kyle Lowry. So as good as Siakam is, this is like the leader. This is like the general, the captain type of guy that you would have on your team. So hearing him say these things is great. Now, I saw this tweet because I saw a pretty funny response. As I respect the lie. Now, as untrue as this may be, I laughed, so I liked it. So, let's not get it twisted here. But as far as the comments Fred VanVleet made, I'm sure Fred VanVleet has a big interest in being a really good player. Putting up numbers, becoming an all-star. Like, that's probably a good feeling. That's probably a feeling he wants to get back to. I think recency bias is kind of putting Fred VanVleet a little bit out of the favor with some Raptors fans. I don't really understand why, because before he really was starting to suffer from those knee problems, like this guy was absolutely balling. Like he was an all-star for a reason. The Raptors were not in a playoff position. They were in a playing position, I believe, when he was voted into the all-star team, or had maybe just crept into a playoff position. But like his personal performances were outstanding, like absolutely outstanding. And he really kept this team afloat while Pascal Siakam was rehabbing from that shoulder surgery, getting back up to 100%. And then when Pascal Siakam got to 100%, we saw, how much we could rely on him. But before that point, like how much were we relying on Fred VanVleet? that was just insane. The amount of workload that Fred VanVleet was taking. So we have to respect how well Fred VanVleet played. And I think it's a little bit unfair for people to say that, I respect a lie. It's as funny as that tweet was, in my opinion. Fred VanVleet is a winner. He is just straight up a winner. Everywhere he has gone, he has been a winner. Be it college, where he had an undefeated season with Wichita State. Be it the G League, formerly known as the D League, where he won championship. Be it the NBA, where he also has won a championship. All of these places was a key figure in doing those things. Now, the G League championship, granted, he played well in the G League in his limited spell. Didn't play en route to winning the championship. That was Pascal Siakam, Finals MVP there. That was more important. But nonetheless, wherever Fred VanVleet has gone, winning has seemed to follow. And a big part of the reason winning is there is because Fred VanVleet is a part of the team. And I don't necessarily think he's prepared to take a big step back. But if Fred VanVleet, instead of shooting how many threes per game, instead of shooting this season, oh my Lord, 10 threes a game, as you see here, 9.9 threes a game. Instead of that, maybe Fred VanVleet's taking like 8 threes a game. Maybe Fred VanVleet is getting more than 7 assists per game. Maybe he's dropping his points down to like 19, getting like 8 assists per game instead. I think that Fred recognizes that there was a lot of talent on this team. There's maybe a little bit too much talent. It's a good position to be in, but what are the best ways to maximize so many great offensive players like Siakam, like VanVleet, like Barnes, Anunoby, and Gary Trent Jr.? A lot of guys that need play time, a lot of guys that need their touches, need to be used quite a little bit. So that's been a problem I think we've talked about through the offseason. That's probably a problem that has a good problem, like I said, but that's probably a problem that has caused all of these OG Anunoby trade rumors. Fred VanVleet, unless he's living under the rock, has seen these trade rumors. Scotty Barnes has directly talked about these rumors and how they're false and they're BS, let's say. Fred VanVleet, I'm sure, has seen these rumors as well. So understanding that, he's prepared to take on whatever role is necessary. Maybe not whatever role. He's prepared to take on a role necessary to help this team be better. Ultimately, Fred VanVleet wants to be on a winning team. He enjoys playing in Toronto. He wants to be on a winning team, which the Raptors absolutely were last year, winning 48 games. We're hoping to improve on that for next season. Let's try to get to 50 wins for next season. And just the way Fred plays, he improves so much. Before this season, I definitely had my doubts about Fred VanVleet as the general, as a point guard, not from a leader standpoint, from a playmaking standpoint. I used to describe Fred as a shooting guard trapped in a point guard's body. Now, part of that might still be true, but I don't say that anymore because he developed, in my opinion, a lot as a playmaker last season. Really helped, control the offense for our team, and also was able to rain down some threes, especially earlier on in the season, en route to becoming that all-star, as I mentioned. But all the hate Fred VanVleet gets, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense. I understand we have 5 really talented players, 5 possibly expensive players in our starting 5 at some point. I get it. That's going to be hard to make work financially. 100% understand that. Is it better to get some more depth by trading one of those guys? Possible. I can understand that train of thought. But the notion, or all the hate that Fred VanVleet gets really just doesn't make a lot of sense because he's a dog, man. This guy, absolute dog. That's a great word to describe him. It's just always out there doing the most to try to get his team to win. He truly fights for his team. He truly fights for his teammates. He represents them well. I'm sure he's great in the locker room. He's very vocal on the court. You can see him helping out the younger guys. And also, just wants to see them succeed. He wants his teammates to succeed. You see him going, always congratulating guys in the court. Now, that's maybe small things, but it just seems to me he's always out there hyping up his guys. He wants his teammates to succeed. That's just the type of guy he is. He wants everybody to eat. If it means he's got to eat a little bit less for everybody else to get a little bit more food, then that's something that he is prepared to do. But make no mistake, Fred VanVleet is a great player, and the Raptors' future is better off with him. So, financial standpoint, Fred VanVleet can sign an extension this offseason. He's eligible right now for a 3-year, $89 million, or he can decline that and go for a 4-year, $114 million. I don't think this will be sorted in the offseason, but I don't think VanVleet will also take that player option. I think he's going to look for this contract. And I believe, quick math, I think that's $28.5 million a year for Fred VanVleet. It's a lot of money, but like you can't really say Fred VanVleet doesn't deserve it. You go to his stats, every season he gets better. Every season since he's entered the league, he's gotten better. 27, 28 years old now. He's about to enter his prime, and this is a player that the Raptors would be wise, in my opinion, to keep a hold of. Point guards, I guess, it's maybe you can find cheaper point guards who can run your team because there are so many offensive weapons. Like, I fully understand everything, but it's just a very tricky situation. Like, and it's a situation I don't really have an answer to as far as affording everybody, as far as making all 5 of those guys work in a starting lineup for the foreseeable future. I don't know how to answer all these questions, but it is within the best interest of the Raptors, in my opinion, to lock up Fred VanVleet for that 4-year deal. If you decide he's a guy that got to get traded, you have the flexibility to do so. But I don't even know who you trade at this point, or even any. Maybe you can make all 5 of them work from a contract financial standpoint. When Barnes is on his next deal, that's going to be a problem. But for the next 3 years, that's not something that we have to consider. So let's go maximize this window here. Let's see how good we can be. Let's continue to push on being a winning team. Let's continue to make the playoffs every year, get playoff experience, maybe go on a deep playoff run. I don't know. But if the Raptors want to maximize the next few years, it's going to involve Fred VanVleet, and I hope we bring him back. And I hope Raptors fans can grow to appreciate what he does to the team a little bit more as we get there. Kyle Lowry, it took Raptors fans, some Raptors fans, a long time to really come around on him, but they did. And I hope the same happens for Fred VanVleet. So let me know your thoughts on this. I want to hear your opinions in the comments down below, because that is it for this one on Amateur TV. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed this one. It goes a long way to supporting the channel. When you like, it tells YouTube that people who have similar interests to you might also enjoy this video. So therefore, it will recommend it to them and even more people. And if you are new, coming to this channel and you want to see more of myself, be sure to subscribe. We're getting close to 500 subs. Thank you so much for the big influx of subs that we got from the last video. I think we got like 30 subs in a day, which is pretty good for this channel. Pretty good for my other channel too, to be honest. So thank you guys. Stick around for more Amateur TV content in the future, and I'll see you again next time for another video.